Hello everybody, welcome back. This is a Grumpy Old Guy Gaming, never your first source in breaking game news. Back with more Wizardry Proving Grounds of the Mad Overlord. It's been a ridiculously long day again, as it seems to always be, and my apologies for that. Just wanted to throw something out here. We have a bit of a version update today. Did not know this was dropping. We are up to version 0.3, and I want to open right here at the title screen. You'll see two options down in the lower right corner. One is an open dev letter where the dev team sort of just goes through a little bit of history about the game and what they're planning on trying to do here with the project. But I'm actually more focused on the square option as it appears on my sheet, the open build notes. Latest updates. I'm going to scroll back to the top here. They mentioned that they have had a ton of feedback. They've asked for feedback in the forums, I believe both on Steam and goodoldgames.com, GOG.com, where you could get this game. This update reflects a good deal of the reactions they've been getting. Taking a look here, they've said you have the ability to rename and copy your save files, and the whole save game interface has been overhauled to allow a simpler and clearer way to manage your saves. Says there are new old school options. They want to improve and continue improving and modernizing the game while still providing that old school experience. It is important to note that a good deal of these can be toggled on and off, so you can more or less custom tailor your wizardry experience. First thing it lists for is bad stuff on party wipe. That's a very vague term, but I'm assuming little things like items getting lost on a recent upload. I had alluded to the fact that one of my characters lost a +2 longsword down in the dungeon when everybody died. I'm not sure if that's what it's talking about. We'll take more of a look in as we go. That's something I don't mind too much, because that's just my personal feeling is that's just, part and parcel for this kind of game. It's a straight dungeon crawler. Loot is kind of your measure of progress for and against. I can see how that would be a bit annoying, but that is one of the things that, in lieu of a more fleshed out experience like this game, is tiny. So roadblocks like that were a way of extending playtime back in the day. Action redirection, surprise round casting, which has led to a couple of my wipes, including the one on stream the other day. Running away in turn order, that's a nice little option there, and a few more related to some of the new features. This first feature here, I think, is amazing that they put in bullet point. Character recruiting. In the tavern, a player can purchase new recruits to fill out the ranks of their party. So basically hirelings. A fantastic addition, a very old school D&D flavored edition. Also reminds me of the soldier office in Final Fantasy Tactics, where you could just grind out extra people if you need to fill out the party. It goes on to say the level of the available characters is set by the highest level you've achieved in the game. Good news for those people who started with a thief in their party, because thieves have the quickest level advancement through those low levels. This should help those who want to get to the action quickly and help you recover when truly bad things happen and you need a few higher level adventurers to help you out in recovering. That's also going to flesh out the feeling a bit too, because in addition to your custom characters and whatnot, now you can have mercenaries just kind of hanging out in the tavern. Just sort of fleshes out that experience that much more. The ability to pick up a sellsword or sell spell, as it may be. Says this is enabled by the old school in the old school options by default, and I do believe that's going to be the majority for all of this. That these are going to be enabled by default, but can be toggled off if that's what you prefer. Up next is a new inn configuration. It says many players only ever choose to stay in the stables and head into the dungeon to heal up their characters. 100% guilty on that one, because again, the other rooms tended to age your characters more quickly. But they said they reconfigured the inn to make things a bit more streamlined. The inn now serves as an in-town camp, allowing you to do most of the stuff you would do while in camp in the dungeon, now in town. Fantastic. That's something I've been hoping for a while, personally. Again, newer games allow you to do that within the series. I know they're not directly related, and they were developed by completely different people at completely different times. But it is an amazing time saver to just be able to get to town, get safe, and then heal up. You can now manage your inventory, heal up, rearrange party members, while also leveling up when you are able. Once again, this format is enabled in the old school options by default. That said, if you're a fan of the old system, or you're just set in your ways and you want to keep things the way they are, once again, you can just toggle it off and go back to the classic Wizardry end style. It says here there is new temple functionality, and we're going to go into this in a second, but as soon as you hear new temple functionality, or in some cases, temple functionality, little party streamers got to be falling in your subconscious, because when it comes to some of your resurrection chances, the Temple of Cant sometimes lives up to its name a little too well. It says, in addition to lowering prices for the inn for low-level characters, which is something that wasn't specifically mentioned in the previous sentence, but huzzah for that. Lowering prices of the inn at low levels is always fantastic. One thing I found about this game is it can be brutal on low-level economy. We've also added an option for players to recover from level drain. Fantastic. Many creatures, the Night Stalkers infamously, have level drain, and I've had a couple characters suffer from it, and sometimes, especially when you get up there, it's a bit of a grind getting back. So that's an interesting option. I may go with that here in the short term, maybe toggle it off for a secondary or tertiary playthrough. But I can, especially when you get down into that 9th level, you're facing one, if not multiple encounters with level drain enemies right away every run through. I can see, and by the time you're hitting the 9th level, you're getting quite a bit of money, so some charitable contributions to the temple, certainly understandable for that. It says the cost is based directly on XP recovered, so it's going to cost you a pretty penny at higher levels. But that's a pretty penny to save 4 to 5 hours of grinding, which again, level drain, much like item loss, especially valuable items, were things used to extend the game back in the day, part of that quote-unquote old RPG charm. But these days, just not having the time to sink into a game like I used to, I could appreciate that change. Also says here there are new enemy animations, implemented a few more enemy animation sets, including priests, ninjas, and creeping coins. Those are 3 biggies that you start hitting when you get lower into the dungeon levels. Many more to come in future updates, which is fantastic. I love to see that the game is being worked on and consistently worked on and consistently communicated about. Says there are more bug fixes and quality of life improvements, and the update ends up saying if you don't see the fix for your issue in this update, don't despair. Prepping for more fixes in future updates, and already have a healthy list of bugs and wishes that we simply weren't able to address this time. Your patience is appreciated. Quite frankly, once again, the Digital Eclipse team knocking it out of the park. Uh, every part of this is just so awesome. Now I am going to get in here, and as you can see, we do have a slightly different system here. I don't remember the little highlighted graphics here. They may have been here previously, but I'm going to go ahead and yeah, you have the option for load game, new game, rename game, or copy game. So if you wanted to make a duplicate file, you could go ahead and do that. We're going to load up here. Let's go ahead and pull up the... Okay, we have game options and old school options separately now. Starting attributes. Okay, random roll or set points. I like that. I like that it's just a toggle like that. Point by. Character age theming could either be set to Vim or age. They essentially work the same way according to this. In configuration could be expanded or original. Okay. Temple design could be expanded or original. Okay. Character recruiting could be enabled or disabled. I like this, and I like the clear choice between enabled and disabled there. Got the ambient map and the Dumapic map. And I also love that it gives some different presets here. You've got your modern, original, your console, and your custom, which we're custom all the way on that. Yeah, we'll discard changes because I liked the way things were set up there. And then your game options are set here. You can go ahead and switch your options around here if you so chose. Looking at the bestiary here. We have fully animated creeping coins. You can't quite see their attacks at this point, but it does have them listed as fully animated. I wonder if it will show work in progress ones here in the bestiary or not. It doesn't seem to really show one way or the other. But let's go ahead and resume into the game. I've actually got a different party out this time. And I'm going to put this party away just to test some of the functionality here. This is a party I just started leveling up for fun. Got some older favorites from the erstwhile C team and a few new ones, and I'll explain the functionality of this party here in a little bit. But first, let's go ahead and sort by level and get our current A team up. Let's start with Rose, then Bro, the least is the Rogue, and we had Cynic as the priest, Dionysius is the wizard, and Michelle is the mage. Now, one thing I want to see is if they're going to be retroactive on the temple's level drain cures. Nope. Okay, so nobody here is currently able to recover from level drain, but I suppose from this point on, if they got level drained while actively out, I would be able to bring them here and get that experience back. So it has to be in session, I believe. Visiting the inn here. Take Rose in, and yeah, you can rest and recover. Okay. Can inspect the character. It is a little weird that it took the other options away, like what type of room, and change position, but I don't really mind this because, again, this works like a more modern iteration of the adventurers in the series. If you look back on Tale of the Forsaken Land, I have more than a few uploads of it here on the channel. Your group just all rested at once on the click of a button. Things like that worked fantastically. Labyrinth of Lost Souls, I think, had a more traditional Wizardry inn where you could choose the different style rooms, but you could also cast healing spells and recover in town in the hub before you got there. So, not sad about that at all. Oh, I also forgot. Rest and recover, inspect. It said you could cast... Did it say you could cast spells here? Not really seeing that. Maybe in the tavern? Okay, so in the tavern you have this recruit option. Okay, that's right. My roster is completely full, so I can't recruit anyone. But if I had an open slot, it would generate a character here. Okay, that's a nice little quirk. Now, I did mention the party I had currently out. I'm going to go ahead and try recruiting them here just to sort of show what we're doing here. First off, I have my first Lord in the game. Lord is essentially a paladin class. And while it's not incredibly difficult to get, I've just had the damnedest time getting a character up to that point. So I had the good fortune to be rolling up a dwarf at the time, and Ulaine wound up being a dwarven fighter for only a few levels, and is now a good aligned dwarf lord. So we're going to put Ulaine in the party. And they were joined by Whimsy, my halfling fighter. And then I created a thief to go in this party specifically, named Cadwick. And Cadwick, aside from having some rather impressive looking sideburns, is also my first evil character. And one thing you'll notice right away is we can't add poor Cadwick to the party because he's a touch too evil to be hanging out with good aligned folk. Whimsy is neutral, couldn't care less either way. So it's difficult to get evil aligned and good aligned characters in the same party. It, however, is not impossible. And I just kind of wanted to show for the people who weren't quite sure how it worked, how these things go about happening. Let's go ahead and throw Cadwick in the party. And he will be the only one we throw in the party here. And we're going to go down into the maze. After looking at a rather vibrant zombie. Okay, we've got our proving grounds of the Mad Overlord, taking our first step into the fabled maze. I don't remember this being around previously. I wonder if they added this as well, just this little sort of overview. It was only a short time ago that the Overlord Trebor sent out the call, beckoning the country's adventurers to come to this place. The story as it was told was that his one-time friend and advisor, the wizard Wardna, had stolen the Overlord's prized amulet and escaped with it into the mysterious maze, a dungeon built of magic, chaos, and death. The Overlord promises the most quoted of power and the rank of honor guard to any adventurer who recovers his amulet. And so you came. And somewhere deep within this maze's Stygian halls, the powerful wizard Wardna awaits. So that was a nice little intro in, and I'm always thankful for that. It seems they have, So we've just taken one step off to the side here, right where these weapons are. And we're going to open up our camp menu. And you have an option here for party options. Right now our only available option is to return to town. And that's going to make Cadwick an out party of one. Anytime you have living adventurers in the dungeon, they are considered an out party. And you can actually revisit an out party as well as take a new party down. So if you get stuck in a spot and you're not quite sure how to get out, or you're in a pinch, maybe you have one person left and they're badly poisoned, you could always just leave that as an out party and come back with perhaps a high-level priest or two to come down and cure the poison. sort of an SOS call, if you will. However, we're going to use this and a little exploit because, again, you can't party up living good and evil people in the same party, but that's not necessarily true of retrieving people. So we're going to go to the tavern and start adding in our other party members. Going to add in Elaine, Whimsy, going to add Nilram, character that I have borrowed without asking from my dad's old save files in the Bard's Tale some decades ago, and pretty much anyone since they realized that Merlin spelled backwards is still a pretty wonky sounding name. Trying to think of who else we had in this little group. 1 and a 2 was the priest. And Laura, our bishop. So that is a quality party. Going to put 1 and a 2 in the front line just in case something goes wrong here. And then we're going to enter into the maze, and it's going to give us our options to either rejoin the out party of Cadwick or just enter with our current party, which is what we will do at the moment. Okay, we've re-entered. Going to take a step to the side here, and just for the sake of checking, we're going to go ahead and camp here and look for other people. Wouldn't you know it, there's one non-party character present in this room, and if we open the party options, we can go ahead and add Cadwick to the party. We now have a good aligned lord and an evil aligned thief that I very much plan on leveling up here in the next few levels to turn into a ninja. We have our full party now. Go ahead and put Cadwick there. Let's go down to the 4th floor for a couple battles, get these guys some experience, and test out this new in option in full. See our map. Down to floor 4. Get our shrill siren of doom. And our boring beetle battle of doom. Get the front line hacking away. Thriomorphic. And some Dilto out there. I should have switched spots for Laura and Nilram. That's what threw me off there. We'll do Dilto Dalto. Nilram will freeze the bugs, and Laura will attempt to just hit them. I noticed some new chimes and sort of key sounds being made going through. So just little confirmations that you are doing things, and I like that little audio cue on "Is it okay" for fighter take back. That way, if you're kind of zoning out, going in autopilot mode, you have that little moment to just sort of reflect on what you did. Dalto more than took care of the bulk of this combat. Yeah, we got through the first round more than okay. And we'll just let front row take care of this. Whimsy with a kill, and Cadwick with a kill. Fantastic. Elaine gets the round off, and we get experience. Actually, a bloodless battle. Let's go ahead and swap Nilram and Laura for the sake of... That was weird. Was not accepting the option there. There we are. Friendly group of dragonflies. We will more than happily leave them be. Here are some not-so-friendly werebears. Maybe they're nicer than I let on, or maybe they didn't appreciate the name calling, because the first 3 and 4 out of 5 ran. Not even going to waste any spells on that. Just let party initiative handle what it will. Ooh! We now have a bit of a flashing graphic there telling us we're looking at a 95% certainty that this is a teleporter trap. And since Cadwick has the most trustable evil face we've seen, we're going to attempt to disarm said teleporter. And Cadwick was a little less than successful, but he didn't fail yet. So second time. And it worked out fine. We all got 25 gold, and nobody got shoved into a brick wall the hard way. Here's some ninjas. And we do have more animations for the level 3 ninja. Also looks like the level 1 ninjas are animated, so that's fantastic. Now we just have to deal with ninjas. Okay, I like this. In the past, you've always been able to select between the rows, but before you had to do it with up and down on the direction pad, or whatever keys you're binding up and down to, depending on your control preference. Now you actually get this little targeting group, group 1, group 2. I like that. More clearly highlighted as well, because if you have the bars toggled on and off, they... Okay, no, it always just shows the active bars. Fantastic. Gonna cast a Bama too, because ninjas have that one-hit kill ability. Gonna throw a Catino at the level 1 ninjas, because they have no resistances, so why not? Level 3 ninjas are resistant to sleep, but they have an issue dealing with ice, so let's just hope Nilrim rolls high on the initiative. Yeah, second is pretty darn high on the initiative. Okay, I'm liking that cross slash. We put one ninja to sleep and it woke up again, but we did stop it from attacking. Or maybe it just wasn't attacking in the first place and I'm taking an unnecessary amount of credit for things. Either way, I'll take it. Party finishes things off. And we took a little bit of hit point damage and we've cast a few spells. So I'd say that's a fairly decent run. Let's go back up. Test out the improper, and then we will probably wrap this up. Take the long, dark walk back. And bump into some bubbly slimes on the way. We have new backgrounds as well. Okay. Kind of liking this one. It shows some cave walls. Got a little bit of a waterfall in the background. There was a waterfall, I want to say, on the 4th level of the dungeon in Tale of the Forsaken Land, which was your first hint at some very pertinent story points in that game due to the nature of the waterfall and me remembering to be sort of more spoiler conscious when I'm talking about things. I do like that though. And that was one of the things I was wondering, was if they were going to implement newer backgrounds. I figured we would get a variety of dungeon scenes, but that one was definitely a cool surprise to bump into. Let's go ahead and head up without casting spells here and just try out this new end system for the sake of trying it out. Let's go to the inn, and Elaine needs to recover 4 hit points. Let's see how this goes. Yeah, just recover 4 hit points. Fantastic. Rest and recover. Rest and recover. And I'm guessing if they level up, it'll just show it leveling up. And yeah, 2 spell points. Okay. I like that it's showing the spell points recovered as well. That is fantastic stuff. Oh, you even have an option for party rest. I'm adult. I didn't see that option there that entire time. Yeah, I was just talking about how Tale of the Forsaken Land allowed you to just rest up the whole party with the click of a button, and there you go. Hit triangle, and I could actually rest up the whole party. That is wonderful. So again, not the longest upload from me. I'd say the 2-hour stream that came about due to losing my party in the middle of what was meant to be a less than 2-hour stream a couple days ago would more than make up for that. But I noticed the update. Actually just got back from the company Christmas party, hopped on to just sort of de-stress a little before I called it a night, and very happy I did so. Wanted to share this with y'all. Hope you're all doing well out there. This has been a grumpy old guy gaming the heck out of some Wizardry, now the 0.3 update. Take care, and we'll see you around.